Hey everybody, there we go. I was trying to get the mic to work. There we go. It's working. Hello, how you doing? It's Thursday, and a lot of times it'd be FTG Thursday, but I don't know if there's gonna be a few today, but I kind of have a theme today, talking about the money involved in all the protesting. So that's I don't have a big spiel right now, so let's just play the intro and then we'll get into it. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, PDawg Knight. Alrighty then, stop the music. Good morning everybody, welcome to the Morning Night Live. I am your host, Marty, also known as PDawgKnight on the internet, and welcome back to the Dawg Knight Channel. It is the 17th of September, 2020, Thursday, and it's the 419th show, which means, as you know, tomorrow is the 420 show. It's the 420th show tomorrow. Anyway, not that that matters. Today, I was, there's so much news out there. I mean, I could go on and on about several different subjects, but for today, I think I'm going to stick with the protests slash rioting slash looting slash plan. And when I say plan, I mean there's something to the idea that this whole thing of unrest is being exacerbated by the money that's being generated via the unrest. And so we're going to look a little bit at that today. So I've found a few articles related to that. Also, it's not just the money involved, it's what the money's doing. And there's a couple of interesting articles, interesting things that are coming up regarding that. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And we'll see what's in the news. I'm still kind of annoyed. I'm watching some of these people talk about this Arab peace thing, the fact that Israel has relations with two more Arab countries, and watching people poo-poo that has got me annoyed. I could spend a whole day on that too, but we're going to stick with the original theme. So before we do that, let's say good morning to everybody. Black Hebrew Israelite in the house, right. And first in the chat. That's why you get the bell, sir. Thank you for being here. Good morning, Chi-Town Jay. Gunfox61. What's up, Gunny? Select a boy. Yeah, boy. And let's see. Chicago Mike, what's happening? Zach Osborne, good to see you. Cynical Lindsay, I did get your message from yesterday, and that, holy smokes. Anyway, also, good morning, God Emperor of Duncan, Aaron Meredith, Purple Pill Perspective, Zero the Hero, Tyler F, Katie did skate. I already went through the whole. That's the whole. Oh, Amy in Connecticut. I did not mean to skip you, my dear. Yes, I do recognize that you are here also. That's everyone who's made Stabbing Joe Scarborough. Chadwick Dupree just got into the chat. People are just rolling in, so there's probably a whole bunch of people who haven't gotten into the chat yet. And I'm a little bit. I'm a little behind, right? So, I'm a little early. Usually, I don't do the good mornings this early in the show, so I usually wait till more people show up in the chat, but that's it just happens. Oh, Longfish61, how you doing? I see you too. Your favorite Dawg Knight song, is that's an interesting question. Dawg Knight, I like they do a version of God Bless the Child that's really good. I think it's Dawg Knight, is that right? Or am I thinking of someone else? Dawg Knight. T-Dog. I think I love their, I think it's them who do that. Dawg Knight. God Bless the Child. Oh, maybe that. Oh no, that's Blood, Sweat, and Tears. I'm sorry. Dawg Knight is a different song, a different band. Blood, Sweat, and Tears is a great version of God Bless the Child. I'm trying to think. Dawg Knight. Let's see. Spin a Wheel. That's Blood, Sweat, and Tears. Now I'm confused. I can't even. They do. I know. Oh, they do a song. Prayer for the Children. That's a pretty good song. I really got to think about that. I always get Dawg Knight and Blood, Sweat, and Tears mixed up when I start rattling off their songs. That's my own problem there. Anyway, also good morning, Robert Chalk. How you doing? Duck Dog, Dr. Black Crow, Scotty Dubs, a new person came over from HB's stream. Good morning, nice to see you. And let's see. I think that's about everybody in the chat. All right, let's get into this because got a whole bunch of shit going on here. So very interesting story in the Washington Free Beacon, and it's regarding this. They're preparing for violence in case Donald Trump wins. Oh, by the way, for the first time. Now it's Rasmussen, so obviously most of the people out there discount Rasmussen as a polling agency. Rasmussen has Donald Trump leading Joe Biden. That's going to ruffle some feathers today, but that's not what we're talking about. I had to think about it. But so what's happening is the left, or the media and Democrats, which is redundant, they're preparing for some post-election violence. They're kind of like planning ahead that if Donald Trump wins, they've kind of already telegraphed that there's going to be violence in the street, right? Well, this article had me very interested in the Washington Free Beacon today. Left's point person for post-election violence prep is linked to Arabella Advisors. Good morning, Cracked. How you doing? And DI Freighter Watcher. The point person for the Fight Back Table, a coalition of liberal organizations planning for a post-election day political apocalypse scenario, leads a progressive coalition that's part of a massive liberal dark money network. Deidre Schiefling, who leads the Fight Back Table's effort to prepare for mass public unrest following the November 3rd election, founded and is a campaign director for Democracy for All 2021 Action, a Project Arabella Advisors 1630 fund. The 1630 fund is a dark money network that provides wealthy donors anonymity as they push large sums into the left's organizational efforts. Schiefling's group is one of dozens that use Arabella Advisors to add an extra layer of secrecy to their funding. The connection suggests that post-election mobilization isn't just the project of the liberal fringe, but that powerful Democratic Party interest groups are also involved. Oh, it's a plan, right? Is that what you call it? A plan? What's going on in my chat? Why did it just suddenly freeze? Oh, there we go. It's working again. So here's created in 2019, Democracy for All 2021 Action includes more than 20 labor unions, think tanks, racial justice, and environmental groups that push for automatic and same-day voter registration, prohibiting voter ID laws, and removing barriers to naturalization, among other initiatives. So basically, they're trying to flood the zone in some shady ways. Let's see. While the 1630 fund does not report Democracy for All 2021 Action in its DC business records, the group acknowledges that it is a project of the 1630 fund at the bottom of its website. The 1630 fund has been used as an avenue for donors to funnel hundreds of millions of dollars to state-based and national groups in recent years. In 2018 alone, $141 million was passed through the fund to liberal endeavors. So anyway, what they're doing here, I'm going to skip through this a little bit. Oh, by the way, a complete list of groups that make up the Fight Back Table is not publicly available. Yeah, sneaky. But Schieffeling's group appears to be an integral part of its efforts. Beyond being the point person for Fight Back Table's election war games, Schieffeling has ties to two of the Fight Back Table's founding groups, Demos and Color of Change, which are part of Democracy for All 2020 in Action. Now, here's the thing. The post-election prep follows other doomsday planning scenarios by liberal activists. The Transition Integrity Project, which is a bunch of former Clinton and former Bush Lincoln Project rejects, told the Daily Beast, who first reported the Fight Back Table's efforts, oh, shoot, I skipped a sentence there. I'm sorry. Released a 22-page document that mentioned violence 15 times, chaos 9 times, unrest 3 times, and crisis 12 times. Yeah, because those are all in case the election is too close or if Trump wins by a landslide. There's going to be violence. The only scenario they saw where there wouldn't be violence if it was a landslide Joe Biden victory. Anybody see that happening? I didn't think so. Anyway, the Fight Table likewise is preparing for extreme outcomes, including violence and mass mobilization efforts following the elections. There's a lot of scary scenarios. Sean Elridge, a former Democratic congressional candidate that leads Protect the Results, told the Daily Beast, who first reported on the Fight Back Table's efforts. We have to be prepared to mobilize in unprecedented ways. You mean like a coup? Protect the Results' massive coalition includes other groups involved with the Fight Back Table, including, Demos Move On. Move On, yeah. Great, moveon.org. Anyway, what they're doing is they're planning for civil and political unrest following the elections if Biden does not win in a landslide. According to the Daily Beast, their simulations have included scenarios where Trump camp releases classified documents for political purposes, fueling manufactured rumors, halting assets of individuals and groups the president determines to be a threat. See, they have all this projection of Donald Trump doing all these, using the government to his advantage, like former Democrats used to do, and with no basis in fact or opportunity. I don't know. It's just they all have this projection of him being this. What's the word they like to use? Oh yeah, dictator or fascist. With no evidence. Tell me, if he were a dictator, I say this all the time, but if he were a dictator, why did he let the governors do the COVID-19 response? Why did he just take over and say, you know what, by decree, I declare that the whole country should be shut down and everyone be required to wear masks? Oh, wait a minute. That was Biden's plan. Anyway, So anyway, this Arabella Advisors is the group that, here it is, Schieffeling's group is just one of dozens housed at Arabella Advisors, which has facilitated more than $1 billion in anonymous funding since President Donald Trump took office. Arabella Advisors acts as a fiscal sponsor to liberal nonprofits that fall under its umbrella by providing its tax and legal status to the groups. This setup means that the groups are housed at the network, do not have to file individual tax forms for the IRS, which include information such as board members or overall financials. So it's just a shady fucking scheme, I gotta tell you. Good morning, Cairo. Good morning, Donatello Slappenfellow. And good morning, Maddie. So, what's this? What is everyone's excuse why Trump is the president while this all rolls right in like Fauci? I'm not sure. Anyway, so that's, apparently this Arabella Advisor that's just throwing money around left and right and makes the groups under its umbrella completely unaccountable and anonymous. Huh. Good morning, Lincoln Halliday. That's a new thing. That's a new name. Only thing Biden got is lifelong membership with Depends. And also, good morning. This is Kyle. How are you guys doing? Nice to see you. Tell you what, before I go on to my second report, just a reminder that the Morning Night Live is brought to you by you, the viewers of the Morning Night Live. If you'd be so kind, make sure you share the stream down there, the share arrow, hit that, send it out on your favorite social media. Or if you follow me on Twitter, mine's Gabber Parley, you can retweet, repost, republish, or what do they call it on Parler? Oh, Echo. or echo the posts that I make. I do reports of those posts every day on the show and that. And I am very active on Twitter, so if you follow me on Twitter, you'll probably get to laugh at some of the shit that I post on Twitter. And finally, if you want to do super chats and or donations, there's information in the description down below, or you can go to PDawgKnight.live, or it shows up in the chat somewhere. I saw one go by, super chat link here, PDawgKnight.live, or there's another one that says the show is brought to you by viewers like you. Your donations and super chats can be done through that link. So if you want to do that, that'd be great. Tomorrow's the 420 show, by the way. All super chats I'm asking to be $4.20. It's the 420 challenge tomorrow. So you can throw a couple bucks in the tip jar if you like what we do. All right. Second article here, also related. So apparently one of the BLM, Black Lives Matter co-founders, is partnering up with pro-communist Chinese group. They wrote that poor grammar. But anyway, one of the co-founders of the official Black Lives Matter group, Alicia Garza, is reportedly partnering with a Chinese organization that has deep ties to the Chinese Communist Party. Shocker! And that group now appears to be funding some of Garza's ventures, according to an investigation by the Daily Signal. Garza is one of several co-founders of the official Black Lives Matter group, and in 2018 she launched a project called Black Futures Lab, which aims, its website says, to help activists in the black community maintain interest in civic participation and civic activism year-round. Now, you know what? Good for her, more power to her, but oh, good morning to the gayest person on YouTube and to Mr. Dax. How you doing? Garza is one of several co-founders of the Black Lives Matter group, and in 2018 she launched a project. Oh, I said that already. The group gathers information about the ways that policy affects black communities, and one that uses information creatively to educate and challenge policymakers. It also lobbies on half of BLM interest at the local level. Okay, nothing wrong with that. Whether I agree with her mission in that capacity, I don't care. However, the Daily Signal's Mike Gonzalez, though, discovered that donations to the Black Futures Lab don't seem to go directly to the foundation itself, but rather to a group called the Chinese Progressive Association, a group that has deep ties to the Chinese Communist Party. According to an authoritative 2009 standard for university paper tracing its early days to the present, and which can be found at Marxist.org. How is that just not ironic? By the way, I do have my cup of reparations coffee in the 2020 for fuck's sake cup. You can get it at PDawgKnight.live. The CPA, or the Chinese Progressive Association, began as a leftist pro-People's Republic of China organization promoting awareness of mainland China's revolutionary thought and workers' rights. Isn't that kind of an oxymoron? Mainland China's revolutionary thought. I don't think you're really allowed revolutionary thought in China, but I digress. Promoting and dedicated to self-determination, community control, and serving the people, Gonzalez reports. To this day, the CPA, the Chinese Progressive Association, continues to be a partner of the PRC in the United States. 3 years ago, the Boston chapter teamed up with China's Consulate General in New York to offer Chinese nationals the opportunity to renew their passports, getting praise from China's official mouthpiece, China Daily. He continues. It also helped raise the Chinese flag over Boston City Harbor to honor the anniversary of the Chinese Communist Party takeover of China. What? Why? Why are they raising the Chinese flag over Boston Harbor? Isn't that kind of that sounds really provocative to me. I don't know why. Anyway, it's clear then that CPA works with the China's communist government, pushes its agenda here in the United States, and is regularly praised by China's state-owned mouthpieces, Gonzalez said. It's clear, too, from this perspective, why the CPA would sponsor a new enterprise by Garza. They espouse the same desire for world communism. So anyway, It's nice to see that the Marxists, the trained Marxists, are getting help from the Chinese. Good for them. Nicely done. All righty then. All right, let's move on. This is special. So, you know that bail fund, the Minnesota Freedom Fund or something like that Kamala Harris was trying to get people to give money to during the Minneapolis protests or riots or whatever you want to call them. Well, apparently, the bail fund promoted by Kamala Harris helped a man accused of sexually penetrating a child. I read this earlier and I had a hard time reading the whole thing. It was just, I'm not really not disgusted by certain things, but it was disgusting. But good morning, Check Your Logic, and John Sislowski. Nice to see you. A bail fund promoted by Senator Kamala Harris helped a man accused of sexually assaulting an 8-year-old girl get out of jail in July, according to court documents obtained by the Daily Caller News Foundation. The Minnesota Freedom Fund also helped post bail in August for a man accused of assaulting a 71-year-old woman as he burglarized her home, court documents show. 1 week after his release, the man was found to be in violation of his bail. The Hennepin County Sheriff's Office told the DCNF on Wednesday there's still an active felony warrant out for the man's arrest. Court documents reviewed by the Daily Caller News Foundation reveal that the bail fund also provided support in June to a man who allegedly stomped on and robbed a victim on the street of Minneapolis on May 25th, the same day George Floyd died while in police custody. During the nationwide wave of protests riots following Floyd's death, Harris, the Democratic vice presidential nominee, called on her followers to donate to the Minnesota Freedom Fund in a June 1st tweet. The California senator said contributions to the fund would help post bail for those protesting on the ground in Minnesota against Floyd's death. However, hello, Hypnagogic Month. Also, Jetix, you keep changing your name on me. It throws me off. Now you're Jetix. Disney is now Jetix. It was Cartoon Network the other day, but welcome back. So here's what's happened. The fundraising Herrick linked to her tweet, which contains her picture and the slogan of her former presidential campaign, was still actively accepting donations as of Wednesday. So here it is. Okay. She's still talking about this tweet's still up. Harris' continued support of the bail fund comes in spite of Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden's condemnation of violence in August. Mike Savage, blarg, how you doing? So here's the problem. So, well, as I read this, I already knew this was coming. The part of the problem is they have received so much money, they don't know what to do with it. The Minnesota Freedom Fund has struggled to spend the $35 million it received following Floyd's death. The group revealed in early September that only about 6% of the $3,475,000 it has spent since Floyd's death has gone to help out bail out of jail people protest. God damn it. Let me just start that sentence over. I'm having a Joe Biden moment. I'm sorry, but I will fix it. You're lion dog face pony soldier.
You're a lying dog face pony.
Hey, shut up, Joe. God, get out of here. The group revealed in early September that only about 6% of the $3,475,000 it has spent since Floyd's death has gone to help bail out of jail people facing protest-related charges. Now, okay, where's my calculator? 6%. They've spent $3,475,000. They've taken in $35 million. But hey, hold up. Let's see. So 6%. 3,475,000 times 6% equals. So they've only spent $208,000 on bail. But they've spent $3,475,000. What the hell are they spending their damn money on? Holy shit. Hi, Sean. How you doing? Hey, Larry. How you doing? Holy crap. Okay, so there's 13 staffers. At least 13. Oh no, never mind. At least 13 staffers working for Joe Biden's presidential campaign also donated to the Minnesota Freedom Fund in the first week following Floyd's death, according to Reuters. All right, I want to skip down here. So Timothy Wayne Columbus, 36, faces up to 30 years in prison for allegedly sexually assaulting an 8-year-old girl in 2015, court records show. He was released from a Minneapolis jail in early July on $75,000 bail, according to jail records. One day after his release, Columbus signed a document asking the court to return any refunded bail to the Minnesota Freedom Fund, indicating that the fund played a role in securing his release from jail. A court document obtained by the Daily Caller found. Minnesota prosecutors provided graphic details of Columbus' alleged sexual assault of the 8-year-old girl in her mother's home, records reviewed by the Daily Caller show. I'm not going to read this. I can't even read it. I don't even want to read this, so I'm going to skip. It's bad. In fact, here, I'll put the article in the chat. If you really want to know what this fucker did, or at least what he's accused of doing. Granted, he's innocent until proven guilty, but whatever. Columbus was considered a friend of the victim's family, but had abruptly stopped visiting the family around the time of the alleged assault. The statement said the girl did not tell anyone about what happened until years later, according to the statement. Columbus confirmed to police prior to his arrest that he knew the victim, but he denied that he abused the girl and said she always really liked him, the statement read. Columbus was a registered predatory offender after a separate incident prior to his arrest in June, according to the statement. A registered sex offender also received support from the Minneapolis Freedom Fund earlier in the summer. Fox 9, which was our local Fox station, reported in August that the group paid $350,000 in cash to release twice convicted rapist Christopher Boswell from jail. Boswell currently faces charges of kidnapping, sexual assault, according to the outlet. They're just bailing out some real winners here, and they don't seem to be related to the protest. But they have $35 million to play with, and they got to get rid of it somehow. I'm still wondering, though, how the hell they're only spending... If they've only spent $3 million out of $35 million, and only 6% of that has gone to bail out people facing protest-related charges... But these are people that do not have protest-related charges that they're bailing out. This is incredible. Anyway, like I said, I put it in the chat. They've got a whole list of people that they've been bailing out, and hardly, at least in this list, none of them have anything to do related to the protests. But they're getting people bailed out. Good for them. Way to go, Kamala. Way to go, Kamala. Yes, nicely done. All right, let's move on. I said let's move on. Come on, computer, work. Anyway, by the way, if you are one of the people who are new here today, please make sure you are subscribed. Hit the subscribe button and click that little bell so you get notifications. Like I said, I also do the notifications up there. I forgot where I am on the screen. Up there, Twitter, Minds, Gab, and Parler if you're on any of those platforms, just in case the YouTube notification system doesn't do its best work. Also, I'm going to do a couple thank yous right now because I'm sure there's a couple I need to do. Thank you so much, Sean DW, Chicago or Chi-Town J, Necrosol Collins, Cynical Lindsay, Becca Farley, all people who've already tweeted out the show or shared it on social media. Again, share the stream out. It always helps. And reminder, tomorrow's the 420th episode. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm asking that everyone do $4.20 super chats during the show, and it'll be the 420 challenge. And then also a week from tomorrow, I will have my friend and news analyst extraordinaire, the Hard Bastard, on the show. We're looking forward to that. I'm gonna make some special commercials for that one. They need new cars. Let's see, Gunfox. They need new cars. Yes, they do need new cars. All right, moving on. Oh, but at least in some places in the country, let's just say law enforcement and the legal system don't play that, homie. Homie, don't play that. In Lancaster, Pennsylvania, a Lancaster, why are there less than 1,000 subs this channel? That's a great question, Scotty Dubs. We got to fix that. We're getting there. And by the way, as soon as we do have the 1,000 subs, I will be able to use YouTube Super Chats, even though I prefer the Streamlabs. Oh, by the way, let me go back here. As I said, you can support the channel down below either through Super Chats via Streamlabs, which is on my PDawgKnight.live site. And you can do either PayPal or credit card on that. And I also take donations via Cashapp and Venmo. Now, nobody's done that yet, but I made that option available because some people just like to do things in different ways. So anyway, good morning, Smarty Bear. Nice to see you. All right, here's our friends in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, where homie don't play that. Lancaster judge sets $1 million bail for some of the rioters accused of arson and vandalism. Yeah! Good for that judge. That's the way it should be, man. The Lancaster police arrested the rioters at 3 a.m. after a mob marched into the police station, chucking glass bottles, rocks, bricks, gallon jugs filled with liquid, and plastic road barricades at the Popo. People rioted after a cop shot Richard Munoz, who was running at him with a knife, even though the body camera proved he charged at the cop with a knife. Oh, they said that for me. Well, thank you! Our first super chat of the day from Mr. Zero the Hero with the $12. You are the superstar donor of the day! And then there's no message, but that's very generous of you. Thank you for getting the spigot flowing, okay? If you want to participate in the Super Chat program and have your message read live on the show, you can do that in the link down below, or there's a link. There are links in the chat that pop up every once in a while, and you'll be a permanent part of this episode of the Morning Night Live. All right, back to Lancaster. The magisterial district judge, Bruce Roth, set a bail at $1 million for 6 of 8 people arrested Monday morning. The Lancaster police arrested the rioters at 3 a.m. after a mob marched to the police station, checking down. We already said that. Here's a New York Post clip. 12 adults: Jamal Sharif Newman, 24, Barry Jones, 30, Frank Gaston, 43, Joshua Dwayne Montague, 23, Matthew Mutterman, 31, Talia Gester, 18, Catherine Patterson, 20, Taylor Enterline, 20, TJ Fry, 28, Dylan Davis, 28, Alex Wise, 29, and Jessica Marie Lopez, 32, face a slew of felony and misdemeanor charges, including arson, riot, institutional vandalism, and criminal conspiracy. A 16-year-old boy was also busted on riot, disorderly conduct, possession of instruments of a crime, possession of a small amount of marijuana, propulsion of missiles onto a roadway, and institutional vandalism charge. They didn't give his name because he's a minor. One person did not meet eligibility for bail. The other rider docket has not yet been updated. Police arrested 5 people, but are still... What? Oh, 5 other people, but are still waiting for a judge to set bail. Roth only said that he considered Lancaster City's police input when setting bail. Lieutenant Bill Hickey stated that the police did not request the bail amount. The district attorney's office also did not offer any input. The protesters are charged with several felony offenses, which are considered in the judge's equation when deciding bail, as well as the input of police. The crimes that these defendants are facing include serious felony offenses, Hickey said in an email. This is not new or unheard of practice and falls within the rules of criminal procedure. So, well, I guess we have our first FTGs of the day since it is Thursday. All those 12 adults and that ute, FTG. FTG criminals. There we go. All right. By the way, for those of you new, FTG Thursday, someone in the chat will tell you what that is. Fuck that guy. Anyway, Lancaster Stands Up alerted Democratic Lieutenant Governor John Fetterman and other state officials about the bail amount. The group shared the story and a picture of Enderlein, who has been leading protests and advocacy in Mannheim for last several months. Who cares? Fuck those guys, okay? Just fat-ass FTG for them motherfuckers. All right, anyway, good for that judge, though. Good for that judge. Make these people suffer just a little bit. Make them think. Oh, one of those people that got arrested, by the way. You've all seen the video where they're harassing the people in the restaurant. I know you've all seen it. And the one woman, the big black woman, kind of goes up. She drinks the man's beer and then throws the glass on the ground. She was one of the people who got arrested. Good for her. Anyway, these pictures aren't them. Anyway, all right, let's move on. We also got... speaking of which, here's one of the riots. But before they do that, we have our next super chat from Black Hebrew Israelite.
That's right.
Thank you, sir, for the $2 super chat. Who says, did you see the YouTuber that took a shit on Nancy Pelosi's driveway as a peaceful protest? That's wipe.
That's right.
I don't think he wiped, but I'll accept him into the wiped community. That's why.
That's right.
Some of you may not understand the wiped/unwiped joke. Somebody asked me, one of the new people who subscribed asked me the other day if I am wiped or unwiped. And I don't know if I never understand if it's a colloquialism or what, but I'm definitely wiped because it's gross if you don't wipe. So I guess I'm wiped. Anyway, thank you, Black Hebrew Israelite.
That's right.
All right. Speaking of the alleged rioters held on bail, one is a sorority girl. One of the accused rioters in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, who's being held on $1 million bond is Kappa Delta sorority sister and an ally of a black rights group at the college she attends. Catherine Patterson was one of 13 people arrested early Monday for multiple charges, including felony and misdemeanor arson, riot, criminal conspiracy, and vandalism. Wow, those shirts are kind of cool. I don't know what that's from, but those are cool. Anyway, and here she is. This is her marching in the streets with I don't know who these people, power in numbers, whatever, but this here's the caption for this photo is hi Gamer Valine, hello Lincoln Halliday, what's happened? The caption of her photo from this is a Facebook post, my left fist to symbolize black power. The young activist commented on a photo she posted on Facebook on August 1st, showing her marching in all black with the caption, BLM, every day, all day, every day. Bitch, you know what? I don't need your condescending little sorority girl bullshit to know that my life matters. Thank you very much. Oh my God. It's, whoever thought of that organization name was a fucking genius, right? Because it's hard to criticize an organization that says Black Lives Matter. Because then people are like, oh, yeah, what do you think Black Lives don't matter? Well, no, absolutely Black Lives. That's the bare minimum. And of course Black Lives Matter. All lives matter. Anyway, 9 of them, including Patterson, 20, are still being held on $1 million bail. Patterson's an undergraduate. Let's do this like a beauty pageant. Patterson is an undergraduate at Franklin and Marshall College, which charges $60,872 a year per year tuition. Jesus Christ. 60 grand a year? I've never even heard of that school. I've heard of some, look, it throws me off because my son's school was like $54,000 a year, small private college in Minnesota, but you know what? He got a scholarship, so we didn't have to pay that much. Holy shit. Anyway, friends claim Patterson was working as a medic during Sunday's protest following the police shooting of Richard Munoz, the mentally... Oh! Is he mentally ill? I didn't know he's mentally ill. The mentally ill man who allegedly charged at police with a knife when she was arrested by the police. Patterson's father, Chip... Oh my God. I should have read this before I did this show. This is just, am I being punked here? Alleged Lancaster rider held on $1 million bail is a sorority girl. Her father, Chip, oh, you're right, Symptomatic Buck. He's not mentally ill anymore. Damn, that's cold, brother. You still get a bell for that. Anyway, Patterson's father, Chip, said he spoke with his daughter Tuesday night. Chip called his daughter's bail amount obscene. Well, maybe they shouldn't be fucking with people in the streets. Maybe they should protest peacefully. I don't feel whatever. I don't know what happened Sunday night. We didn't talk about that. He told the New York Post. I don't know what she did or didn't do. I would be shocked if she did something violent. Well, I guess you're going to have to find out. And guess what? You know what? That bail certainly can be reduced. It's just that's the initial bail that somebody sets. But obviously there are ways that the bail can reduce once it gets to a hearing on the bail. But until then, in the immortal words of Genghis Khan, fuck him. I don't care. I just don't care. Moving on. 2 lawyers for... Oh, here's another problem. There are 2 Black Lives Matter protesters facing up to life in prison for allegedly torching a police vehicle. Way to go. Where'd my bell go? What the hell's going on here? There we go. Collinford Mattis and Yoruj Rahman, 2 lawyers and Black Lives Matter protesters who hit the streets of Brooklyn following the death of George Floyd, face up to life in prison for allegedly setting a police vehicle ablaze via Molotov cocktail. As noted last month by National Review contributor Jonathan S. Tobin, the duo, who've ginned up loads of sympathy in the mainstream and leftist media, face 7 federal charges, including arson, conspiracy, and the commission of a crime of violence, employing what the law defines as a destructive device. The charge concerning a destructive device, Tobin explains, means that if they are convicted, they will have to automatically serve a sentence that is 3 times longer than if they had used a gun, a mandatory minimum term of 30 years. With other charges thrown in, they're looking at the possibility of non-negotiable sentences of 45 years to life in prison. That Molotov cocktail is a bitch. If you use it, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't. Ah, shit. You're fucked now. On Wednesday, in a lengthy, sympathetic piece, the Daily Beast lamented the charges against Madison Rahman, framing it as a crackdown from the Trump administration on Black Lives Matter protesters, deliberately blurring the lines between the folks who peacefully protest and those who gauge in destruction like Mattis and Rahman are accused of doing. Wait a minute. Should we go look at the Daily Beast article on this? Here, let me click this just a second. I want to see how this looks from the Daily Beast perspective. Is this some like super sympathy piece? Good morning, Moonbase Radio. Also, Jaeger Pony. What's up, my favorite Canadian? How you doing? Oh, no, this isn't. Oh, wait a minute. That's not the Daily Beast. That's BuzzFeed. Is it still BuzzFeed? Did I get the wrong one? I mean, oh, fuck's sake. It's BuzzFeed. That tells you a lot. Okay, so let's see. It says here, let me put this so you can see it. These 2 lawyers face up to life in prison for allegedly burning an... Oh! Notice, they're already making an argument in the headline. Can you see it? These two lawyers face up to life in prison for allegedly burning an empty cop car. Oh, does it make it better that they threw a Molotov cocktail into an empty cop car? Oh, I guess we'll find out, won't we? The federal case against lawyers Colin Madison and Aruj Rahman is a stark example of how the Trump administration is cracking down on Black Lives Matter protesters. So a Molotov cocktail into a police car is protesting. Is that what that's called? Oh. And listen to this dramatic beginning. Hi, hello, use 003. How you doing? Advocates Diabli, what's happening? Listen to the beginning of this story. What is this? Did I read this once before? I might have read this before. This is from September 16th. No, this is yesterday. Okay, here we go. I should throw on some like dramatic music, but I'm not going to today. The NYPD van on a Brooklyn street was banged up and empty. A battered steel shell with shattered windows and a mask of spray paint. Shortly before 1 a.m. on Saturday, May 30th, the fourth straight night of nationwide protest against police brutality, a Molotov cocktail set it ablaze. Oh! The Molotov cocktail set it ablaze? All by itself? Bad Molotov cocktail. Bad Molotov cocktail. A surveillance camera perched outside the NYPD's 88th precinct down the block captured the incident, including a tan Town and Country minivan at the scene. Around 10 minutes later, officers pulled over a vehicle fitting that description. Collinford Mattis, 32, was at the wheel, and Yaruj Rahman, 31, was in the passenger seat. Officers found a lighter, a tank of gasoline, and a bottle stuffed with toilet paper in the back seat. Oh, just a bottle stuffed with toilet paper. Rahman and Mattis were handcuffed and transported to holding cells at NYPD headquarters. 2 of 23 people arrested in Brooklyn that night for actions connected to the protests against police brutality. Oh, they were protesting police brutality. Brooklyn's district attorney's office handled most of the cases, which prosecutors processed through the night. As the arrests poured in, 10 people were released without charges, and most were hit with low-level infractions such as criminal mischief or disorderly conduct. A few faced allegations as severe as illegal gun possession. The case against Rahman and Mattis, however, took a different track. Because the incident involved an explosive device, a specialized unit of NYPD officers and FBI agents called the Joint Terrorism Task Force, formed in 1980 to root out threats to national security, spearheaded the investigation. Within hours of the arrest, before Brooklyn prosecutors had even begun writing up charges, FBI agent Kyle Johnson submitted a criminal complaint in federal court, and federal prosecutors informed local authorities that the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Eastern District of New York was taking over the case. No one knew it at the time, but this was one of the early moves in a widening federal crackdown against Black Lives Matter protesters across the country. By June 4th, federal prosecutors had pursued charges against 51 people linked to the protest. In the weeks that followed, U.S. Park Police cleared protesters in Washington, D.C. What does that have to do with these two? What the hell does that have to do with these two? This is an article about these boneheads who are attorneys who threw a Molotov cocktail into a empty cop car. It doesn't matter if it's empty. Molotov cocktails. Not my favorite drink. So, Oh my God, this article is terrible. Okay, I'm gonna read just this next paragraph because it's just like, well, it's just an empty cop car and it was already damaged. So what the hell? What does it matter if they threw a bell? When it came to Rahman and Mattis and the alleged crime of burning an empty and already damaged police vehicle, what the fuck? If it's empty and already damaged, what the fuck did they throw a Molotov cocktail in it for then? Dumbasses. The U.S. Attorney's Office brought charges so severe they carry a mandatory minimum sentence of 45 years in prison and a maximum of life, a potential punishment. One former federal prosecutor called ridiculous, and another called out of hand, and a third described as an extreme tactic to send a message to other protesters. So, you know what? Does that, because they were a federal prosecutor, does that take away their ability to be political when it comes to this shit? Anyone ever hear of Kim Fox? Oh my gosh. So anyway, it's batshit, a fourth former federal prosecutor who requested anonymity because he continues to work on cases with the U.S. Attorney's Office, and I'm a pretty law and order guy. Okay, maybe you shouldn't be working there. Anyway, you can see how this story goes. Oh, and we go. Oh! I wish I would have never scrolled down. Look at this. They're getting the Trayvon Martin treatment. Oh, we have pictures of them as they were children. Oh my God. Oh my God. Are you kidding me? Why do they have these pictures? Because here they are up here. This is who they are. Okay, this gentleman and this lady here. This is Mattis and this is Rahman. But they are we supposed to get sympathy because they were once children and looked like this? What the oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. That's incredible. All right, let's move on. This is okay. So yeah, this is the Daily Caller article. I think it's the same thing. But I remember when this happened, when these two got arrested. Why did I pick up this article? Okay, well, let's just see if this is anything different here. Two Black Lives. That's the same article I just read. That's why. Duh. Okay, moving on. Also, apparently there's a recall petition for one of the Seattle City Council members that's for some reason they were trying to get it rescinded, but this judge says they can continue. Good morning, Robert Chalk. How you doing? Might as well have thrown a hand grenade as far as the law is concerned. Destructive devices and such. Yeah, it doesn't matter. You know, Jesus Christ. And they're lawyers too. That's the funny thing about it. Anyway, judge decides recall petition against Seattle Socialist council member can go forward. On Wednesday, a presiding judge for King County Superior Court in Seattle, Washington, ruled that the accusations against Seattle Socialist Seattle council member Kashama's idiot savant were verifiable and serious enough to justify a recall petition. Judge Jim Rogers, whose family has lived in Seattle for 4 generations and who served in the King County Prosecutor's Office from 1994 to 2004, 6 years in the Special Assault Unit, and 3 years in the Most Dangerous Offenders Project Unit, Homicide Unit, ruled that 4 of the 6 charges against Sawant warranted the continued recall effort, as the Seattle Times has reported. The charges against Sawant in the petition are, according to My Northwest, 1, that Sawant misused council resources to promote a ballot initiative in early February. 2, that she violated the city hiring rules by giving decision-making authority to Socialist Alternative, which is an organization. That she received the address of Seattle Mayor Jenny Durkin's home, or revealed it to protesters who later marched to her home. Yeah, remember that? This is the city council member. She's a socialist. First of all, she allowed Well, I'll tell you, it's in this here. But she gave the protesters Jenny Durkin's home, and they went and protested at her house. In fact, I think she even led part of the protest. What an idiot! Anyway, and that she endangered city employees by admitting hundreds of protesters into City Hall after hours, and that she created a criminal environment in the East Precinct area of Capitol Hill that ultimately led to the creation of the CHOP, or the Chaz. Rogers dismissed the charges related to the East Precinct and the CHOP, but allowed the others to move forward, the Seattle Times wrote. So, Idiot Sawant may be up for a recall. If you want to see the rest of that article, I'll throw that in the chat too. And poof, there it is. Poof, there it is. Poof, there it is. Moving on. Apparently, also, Jenny Durkin might be in trouble too. The mayor, which those people protested, according to a report, Seattle mayor may face federal charges over the autonomous zone fiasco. The Department of Justice is looking into whether federal charges can be brought against Seattle Mayor Jenny Durkin over her failure to crack down on the so-called autonomous zone, controlled for weeks by rioters. Attorney General William Barr has tasked the DOJ Civil Rights Division with investigating whether charges can be brought against Durkin. The New York Times reported on Wednesday, citing two people familiar with the discussion. Barr has also asked federal prosecutors to consider charging rioters with sedition and insurrection against the United States government, according to the Wall Street Journal. They took over several city blocks and a police precinct in the middle of Seattle for several weeks over the summer as protests and riots took place following the death of George Floyd in Minneapolis on May 25th. Durkin eventually ordered police to move into the area and reestablish order following several deadly shootings. Yeah, they were killing each other. Hi, Becca Farley. As the Daily Wire reported at the time, although CHOP demonstrations were largely peaceful at first, within the last week there have been 3 shootings, leaving at least one person dead, one in critical condition, and 3 others with injuries, according to reports. Long-term residents of Seattle's Capitol Hill neighborhood expressed their frustration with the protest to city officials last week, telling local media that they no longer felt safe in the occupied neighborhood and threatening to move their homes and businesses from Capitol Hill permanently. The mayor, the members of the city council, and other city officials continue to defend the protest, claiming that a dangerous and unassociated element moved into the CHOP at night. They tried to blame it on the Boogaloo Boys. Oh my God. What do you mean those people? Yeah, I hear. Yes. What do you mean those people? I got you there, Sean. I see you. Anyway, Barr's reported push to charge rioters with federal crimes emphasizes the Trump administration's push to reestablish law and order across America's major cities, yada, yada, yada. So, yeah, because there's been over $2 billion in damages to businesses because of riot-related destruction. So they're trying to, since the local prosecutors aren't doing their job because they've all been bought and paid for by he who shall not be named, the federal government is trying to find ways to help these people get some relief from these assholes. Next. The Defund the Police initiative in Minneapolis. It's not working out so well. Me, of one, being a member of the Metro Twin Cities, I concur. I'm so glad I don't live anywhere near there, but my son does, and sometimes I'm nervous. Anyway, now that Al Sharpton has lost interest in Minneapolis, after all, there are no more televised funerals of criminal suspects who died in police custody for him to hijack. The rest of his comrades in the national media have moved on as well. The vultures got what they needed from George Floyd's corpse and flew away. Now, the people of Minneapolis are left on their own devices. The riot-ravaged neighborhoods and crime-ridden streets don't fit the preferred narrative, so they're being ignored. But the residents still have to live there, so they're still trying to go about their daily lives. The people who could afford to move away from Minneapolis are fleeing in droves, but what about the people who are stuck there? What can they expect from local leaders who have spent months trying to hashtag defund the police because it was trending on Twitter? Well, Minneapolitans can expect what we can always expect from politicians: whining, blame shifting, and cowardly ass covering. Brant Williams of Minnesota Public Radio says, quote, the meeting was I got to do it. I'm sorry. This has to be NPR style. Excuse me. Let me get this right. Excuse me. Hey, I need a sip of by the way, take a sip of your coffee or whatever beverage you have and take care of that right now while I do the simultaneous sip a la Scott. What's his name? Scott Adams, the Dilbert guy, whatever. All right. Brant Williams of Minnesota Public Radio said, the meeting was slated as a Minneapolis City Council study session on police reform. But for much of the 2-hour-long meeting, council members told Police Chief Madera, or Redondo, that their constituents are seeing and hearing street racing, which sometimes results in crashes, brazen daylight carjackings, robberies, assaults, and shootings. They asked Arredondo what the department is doing about it. Residents are asking, where are the police, says Jamal Osman, newly elected council member of Ward 6. The number of reported violent crimes like assaults, robberies, and homicides are up compared to 2019, according to MPD crime data. More people have been killed in the city in the first 9 months of 2020 than were slain in all of last year. Property crimes like burglaries and auto thefts are also up. Incidents of arson have increased 55% over the total at this point in 2019. Thank you very much. So you want to get rid of the police? This is what it looks like. When you stop enforcing the law, you get anarchy and chaos. Shocker! I'm trying to think of a good thing to put there, but I can't think of it here. Party horn. You get ruined lives and billions in damages. The only thing worse than cops is no cops. And that's what, and that's after what we saw nonsense like these from the Minneapolis City Council member, Lisa Bender. Here's a good old blast from the past. Listen to this one.
We have a state action against our police department, which gives us legal mechanisms in the very short term.
Great.
You know, there's lessons from all over the country, all over the world that we're looking to take immediate steps while we work toward building the systems that we would need to imagine that future.
Do you understand that the word dismantle or police free also makes some people nervous? For instance, what if in the middle of the night my home is broken into? Who do I call?
Ghostbusters.
Yes, I mean, I hear that loud and clear from a lot of my neighbors. And I know, and myself too, and I know that comes from a place of privilege, because for those of us for whom the system is working, I think we need to step back and imagine what it would feel like to already live in that reality, where calling the police may mean more harm is done.
Imagine.
And so,
imagine there's no police and criminals abound. Imagine all the murders and carjackings. Can you move out of the city in time enough to get away? Oh, you stupid bitch. Anyway, the whole defund the police movement is moronic, and the Democrats have made a huge mistake by embracing it. They can't see past their noses. Comedian Ryan Long sums up the thinking in his latest satirical, that's another one of those words, satirical videos. Let's see. Oh, Ryan, this is hilarious. I've seen this one. Here we go. Here's Ryan Long's take on this nonsense.
For most of recent history, 20-year-old girl opinions have been the cornerstone of media, entertainment, and online political discourse. And for that reason, I am the first person running a candidacy fueled entirely by the opinions of 20-year-old girls. Hi, James, grown man with the opinions of a 20-year-old girl here. Could I be counting on your vote this election? Sure, Biden has 20-year-old girl talking points, and Trump's like a 20-year-old girl on Twitter, but my opinions just finished a few semesters of a liberal arts degree. I'm promising simple solutions to complex issues, to have zero problem holding conflicting opinions. Under my presidency, America will borrow all money on a high-interest credit card and then deal with that in 5 years, which is like forever away. I'm so sorry to bother you when Mercury's in retrograde, but I'd love to tell you about my plan to get rid of homelessness by giving every homeless person $1 billion. My healthcare plan is to provide every citizen with a therapist that will tell them nothing's their fault. My stance on that will depend on what I most recently learned in class, but I can promise you I will criminalize being a meanie.
I'm sure I'll get a
I plan to
copyright
offer
strike for
neighboring
this, but I don't
countries
care.
unsolicited advice while making sure that our country is ostensibly a fucking mess. My entire caucus will be sloppy drunk by 9 p.m. under the guise of self-care. Good question. I'm going to give them more money. 400 new holidays for finding yourself. Yeah, I think the funding's going to go up for that one, yeah. Problematic police? No more police. People not obeying COVID rules? Hire more police to arrest them. And I vow to put off getting my driver's license indefinitely. Now, Ms. Anderson, would you be interested in a candidate who will find out about U.S. atrocities in real time and lecture you about them in real time? Did someone say celebrity endorsements? 80% of Twitter hashtags are written by girls in their 20s, and I'm going to make damn sure that those Twitter hashtags represent 110% of my policy decisions. Someone who will stand up for America by making ludicrous proposals and claiming to be unheard when not met. I may be a white man, but my opinions identify
You're a
as
white
20-year-old
male!
girl.
Okay, thank you, Brian.
80%.
Brian Long. That's funny. Probably. Okay, so anyway, you get the deal. Oh, by the way. So apparently, I'll just finish this article. Problematic police, no more police. People not obeying COVID rules, hire more police to arrest them. That's hilarious. They don't think, they just react. It doesn't need to make sense. It just needs to feel right. When they're proven wrong again and again, hey, look over there. And the great thing about people who want to defund the police and now demand more policing, they're the same people who don't think you should be able to own a gun to defend yourself. The biggest single misstep the media and other Biden campaign surrogates have made this year is downplaying the riots that as mostly peaceful protests and blaming all the violence on the cops. That's why they're panicking about this joke, which Trump just retweeted. This is funny. Oh, and it's funny because they had to label this as manipulated media. Is this the same one? Yeah, United Spot. This is hilarious.
I just have one thing to say. Hang on here.
Fuck the police coming straight from the underground. Young nigga got it bad 'cause I'm brown.
Now, hold on. I'm sorry. That was funny. But I gotta tell you, there's definitely a better one than that. Hang on. Uh-oh, hang on. What the hell's going on here? Okay. This will take a moment. Oop, that's not what I meant to do. This one is much better. Hang on, I'm gonna give you a big old shot of this bad boy too, because this one is actually very funny. Here we go. Just hang on. Whoa. Hang on.
Thank you so much.
Here we go. Sorry guys, it took me. I need a producer sometimes. This one I thought was much better.
I just have one thing to say. Hang on here.
Now get your boots, hang your coat for this wet ass pussy. He bought a phone just
I mean, he did do an interview with Cardi B, right? So
now make it rain if you wanna see some wet ass pussy.
I tell you what, if I had the talent of any one of these people, I'd.
What do you mean by these people? Somebody used that. I'm so mad that whoever did that, something had said about those. What does he mean by these people, too? I'm sorry. Did anyone catch that besides me? What did he say? Let's look at his words. Here he goes.
Tell you what, if I had the talent of any one of these people, I'd be elected president by acclamation.
What do you mean by these people, Joe? These people? What the hell are you talking about? Oh my God. Anyway, let's see. Where was I? All right, I think you got the gist of that article. Oh, yeah. It's funny because when Trump retweets a joke, it automatically becomes a hate crime. Twitter has slapped a manipulated media tag on that one with the fuck the police one, and CNN and the rest of their ilk are flipping out about it being misinformation. Oh my God, it was not information. It was a joke, you fucking morons. But do you ever see a misinformation tag on when they lie about the president? I've never seen it before. It's funny, and they're freaking out because it's funny and they hate being mocked. It reminds voters that Biden spent the summer ignoring the riots and bashing the police. 3, that's it. It's one thing to say Trump shouldn't be retweeting stupid jokes about Biden or anybody else. That's arguable. But to call this doctored or manipulated as if there's some effort to deceive here is itself being deceptive. That's because they know policing is an issue where Biden is vulnerable. Oh, by the way, this is interesting. Up to 95% of U.S. riots are linked to Black Lives Matter. You know, they keep telling us how the riots are 93% peaceful. Well, 95% of the riots are linked to the 93% peaceful protests. Contrary to the corporate media narratives that up to 95% of this summer's riots are linked to Black Lives Matter. What? Wait, up to 95% of this summer's riots are linked to Black Lives Matter activism, according to data collected by the Armed Conflict Location and Event Data Project. Never heard of that one. ACLED. The data also shows that nearly 6% or more than 1 in 20 of U.S. protests between May 26th and September 5th involved rioting, looting, and similar violence, including 47 fatalities. Holy shit. Oh my God. ACLED is a nonprofit organization that tracks conflict across the globe. Its U.S. project that collected the summer protest data is supported by Princeton University. Oh, Ivy League.
Gotcha, bitch.
The project spreadsheet, I really meant to do a bell, but I think that one is even better. This project spreadsheet, collating tens of thousands of data points, documents 12,045 incidents of U.S. civil unrest from May 26th. 12,000? Holy shit, between May 26th and September 5th. May 26th is the day after George Floyd's death in police custody, with enough fentanyl in his system to have died of an overdose if police had never touched him. Of 633 incidents coded as riots, 88% are recorded as involving Black Lives Matter activists. Data for 51 incidents lack information about the perpetrators' identities. BLM activists were involved in 95% of the riots, for which there is information about the perpetrators' affiliation. Early estimates from insurance agencies say the cost of this summer's rioting will set a record surpassing that of the 1992 Rodney King riots, which cost an inflation-adjusted $1.2 billion. Much of that will be paid by taxpayers in the form of overtime and hazard pay for police and EMTs, emergency room visits, destruction of public property, and more. Of course, rioters are inflicting those costs during a time governments and the people who fund them have fewer resources due to coronavirus shutdowns and pent-up entitlement obligations. They show a map of all the places where this went on. You can read the rest of this article yourself, but just the fact that 95% are BLM related. That's unfortunate. So there you go. I got a couple more. Biden and the Democrats lied about cop spawn sickening shooting. Divine. All right, this is just an editorial from the New York Post. I thought it was interesting. The targeted attack on 2 LA cops last weekend is the inevitable result of the despicable lie Joe Biden and his party have been pushing all summer for political advantage, that police are systemically racist murderers of black people. The lie has driven violent anti-cop, BLM, Antifa riots in Democratic cities from New York to Seattle. Police are demoralized and resigning in droves, leaving the poorest, most crime-ridden communities less safe. Violent criminals are emboldened, crime rates are surging. As of Friday, 37 law enforcement officers have been feloniously killed, aka murdered, this year, according to the FBI. That's 25% more than the same period last year. In New York, police response times are delayed. Who's surprised? As riots raged, Democratic mayors and councils voted to abolish or reimagine or defund their police departments. $1 billion was stripped from the NYPD. American voters don't want this. That is the case, especially for Black Americans. 81% of whom wanted police presence in their community to stay the same or increased, according to a July Gallup poll. What more do you need to know about the malign intent of BLM Antifa than the sight of their protesters blocking the hospital entrance where 2 injured sheriff's deputies were undergoing surgery Saturday night? Video shows protesters yelling, "Fuck you, pigs, and I hope they fucking die." Biden issued a statement of support for the injured officers Sunday, but he still couldn't let go of his narrative that cops are to blame for systemic racism. Acts of lawlessness and violence. Oh, this is Joe Biden. Acts of lawlessness and violence directed at police officers are unacceptable, outrageous, and entirely counterproductive to the pursuit of greater peace and justice in America. I'm sorry, that's my best Biden now. Get the subtext? Yes, police are systemic racists, but attacking them makes the anti-police movement look bad. Biden and the entire Democratic political class never condemned the violence engulfing their cities until the polls turned against them. For 3 months, they tried to gaslight Americans into believing the protests were mostly peaceful. Hi, Sheograph. How you doing? Then, too late, Biden laughingly tried to blame Trump's America and draw a moral equivalence with armed militias aligned with white supremacists. No one was fooled. We could see who was throwing the Molotov cocktails and bricks. Yeah, they were lawyers. And burning down buildings. Biden supporters. Biden fueled the anti-police sentiment from the minute the video emerged in May of George Floyd deaths at the hand of Minneapolis police. Hi, BoschTube. Every day, African Americans go about their lives with constant anxiety and trauma, wondering who will be next. No, we don't. That's another bullshit lie. And even LeBron James said that. They're hunting us down. No, they are not. And most people just go about their lives, even though y'all are trying to scare us into thinking you're something better than whatever we got. But boy, you're starting to scare children though. The videos of kids crying about this, talking to people, drives me insane. That you don't. It's very frustrating. Anyway, I don't know. I'm got me annoyed. Correction, the George Floyd death due to a massive overdose. Yeah, I tell you. There's that. The rest of that editorial, you can read that yourself. All right, let's do the thing we do on the daily now and check to see if there's any breaking news. I'm sure there's a whole bunch of stuff going on that I haven't talked about. I just made this my thing for today, but let's check the Explore tab and the News tab on Twitter.com. See if there's anything new. It looks like their Explore tab top is something about Hercule, which is some anime show. Oh, this is the new one. Here's another. They're just trickling shit out left and right. Apparently now there's a former model named Amy Doris who alleges that Donald Trump sexually assaulted her in 1997. Great. In a Guardian exclusive, Doris detailed the alleged encounter at the U.S. Open where he shoved his tongue down her throat and his hands were very gropey. The allegations have been denied through Trump's lawyers. So this will be the big story of the day, maybe the whole week, maybe all the way up to the election. It's amazing that she's finally telling her story after 4 years of Trump in the White House. Let's just look at the lead in the Guardian. They got a nice story of her. Look, a nice picture of her looking all tearful. Thank you, Kingslayer Damocles. I didn't even see you come in. What's up, my bud? Thank you so much for the 762 super chat. Police aren't systemically racist. They're systemically assholes. I know you've. Yes, I know. We've discussed this. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. We have a difference of opinion. I know enough police officers that they're not. They're just not. They have a job, and most of them do it. And some of them are complete assholes. I know a couple cops that are total assholes, but no, not as a whole. They have probably the same percentage of assholes as the general public. They're just people doing the job, and if you give millions at 10 million police interactions a year, and just let's talk to percentage. Anyway, back to this Guardian article. Okay, yes, okay, no, I'm not going to support the Guardian. Get off my screen. Amy Doris alleges Trump forced his tongue down her throat and groped her at the 1997 U.S. Open. So 23 years ago, now she's just recalling this? Just now? All these people... Former models come forward to accuse Donald Trump of sexually assaulting her at the U.S. Open tennis tournament more than 2 decades ago in an alleged incident that left her feeling sick and violated. In an exclusive interview with The Guardian, Amy Doris alleged that Trump accosted her outside the bathroom in his VIP box at the tournament in New York on 5 September 1997. Doris, who was 24 at the time, accuses Trump of forcing his tongue down her throat, assaulting her all over her body, and holding her in a grip she was unable to escape from. He just shoved his tongue down my throat, and I was pushing him off, and then that's when his grip became tighter, and his hands were very gropey and all over my butt and my breast, my back, everything. I was in his grip and I couldn't get out of it, she said, adding, I don't know what you call that when you're sticking your tongue just down someone's throat, but I pushed it out with my teeth. I was pushing it, and I think I might have hurt his tongue. Via his lawyers, Trump denied in the strongest possible terms of ever having harassed, abused, or behaved improperly towards Doris. There's a picture of Doris with Trump back in the day. Let's see. This is the 1997 Open. She's smiling there. The assault took place behind the partition wall in the background. Notice what they did. Oh, she alleges the assault took place in the partition. Her account was also corroborated by several people she confided in about the incident. They include a friend in New York and Doris's mother, both of whom she called immediately after the alleged incident, as well as a therapist and friend she spoke to in the years since. All Doris said Doris had shared with them the details of the alleged incident that matched what she said later told The Guardian. She's now 48, mother of twin daughters, and she has considered speaking publicly about the incident in 2016, when several women made public accusations against the Republican candidate for president, but she decided against coming forward in part because she thought that doing so might harm her family. That's fascinating. Well, I'm really not sure where you go with this. There she is with Puff Daddy, Trump, and these other people. Is that Lenny Kravitz? I thought he was a racist. Posing with Puff Daddy, Lenny Kravitz, at Trump Tower. And Leonardo DiCaprio, too. She hobnobs with some celebrities, doesn't she? And she was signing autographs. Why is she? Oh, she's some former model or whatever. Thank you, God Emperor of Duncan. Doris says this happened at a tennis tournament. She's just mad because she was the only one getting some love at the match. Oh. Yes, that was... Thank you very much, Duncan, for the $2, and I appreciate that. Okay, so, fascinating that, of course, they will drag these accusations out. What do you want them to do about it, Doris? I'm curious. but she was signing autographs because she is a former model. So that's going to be the top story you're going to hear about nonstop for the next probably up till election day. Chris Rock defends. Oh my goodness! Chris Rock defends Jimmy Fallon's blackface impersonation of him. It was funny. It was a good impersonation of him too. Let's see this. I wish these weren't so slow. Chris Rock and look, I don't know. If there's one thing, unless it's completely derogatory, I don't give a shit. You know, Robert Downey Jr. Tropic Thunder, I thought that was brilliant. Chris Rock's impersonation of Jimmy Fallon, it was funny at the time. Now, is that supposed to be derogatory, or is he just imitating Chris Rock? Chris Rock has defended Jimmy Fallon over a resurfaced comedy skit in which Fallon wore blackface to impersonate him. See, that's not even blackface. That's makeup to look like the character you're playing. I don't even consider that blackface is a specific type of entertainment from the early 1900s that was intended to be derogatory, although it was supposed to be a comedy at the time for dipshit white people. That's a very distinct class of people. Don't take that personally. It was a shitty form of entertainment that was intended to belittle black people. I don't know that Jimmy Fallon impersonating Chris Rock was intended to belittle. Anyway, Chris Rock has defended him. And in May, the clip from the 2000 episode of Saturday Night Live went viral, often alongside the hashtag Jimmy Fallon is over party. In the clip, Jimmy Fallon wears makeup, I'm not even going to call it blackface, for an impression of Rock. Rock has now stated he valued the intention behind the impersonations. I'm friends with Jimmy. Rock told the New York Times Jimmy's a great guy. He didn't mean anything. A lot of people want to say intention doesn't matter, but it does. And I don't think Jimmy Fallon intended to hurt me, and he didn't. Good for Chris Rock. You know, I don't care. It's just stupid. All right, let's see if there's any news, breaking news. Top news stories right now. FBI Director Chris Wray confirmed Russia has made active efforts to influence the 2020 election. Oh, good God. Russia. I'm going to guess. Who did he tell? Oh, Wray told the House Committee on Homeland Security that Russia is continuing attempts to influence the upcoming presidential election, primarily targeting Joe Biden and his campaign. Wray also addressed the domestic terror, saying terrorism remains the FBI's top priority throughout the nature of the threat, or though the nature of the threat has evolved significantly. Yeah, it's a bunch of white kids in Portland breaking shit. So, yay, they're going to talk about Russia. Today, as he agrees, Russia's trying to influence the election through malign foreign influence, social media, use of proxy, state media, online journals, and to sow divisiveness and denigrate as Biden. The targeting of elected infrastructure, however, we have not seen yet. So they're still doing memes. How do they sow divisiveness in this country right now? Unless they're paying for the riots. Are riots divisive? Even some of the protests that end up being riots, are those divisive at all? Do you think any of the language encouraging riots is divisive? Who's doing that right now? Just, it's uncanny. So we're going to hear about Russia some more. Great. What else is new in the news? This thing will refresh in a second. We got former model Amy Doris alleges Trump sexually assaulted her. AG Bill Barr criticizes DOJ prosecutors and equates them to preschoolers. This is a hit piece on Barr because they're really going after Barr because they think that the Durham probe is politically motivated by Barr. I just think he's trying to get to the bottom of shit. During an event at Hillsdale College in Michigan, the Attorney General condemned prosecutors from the Department of Justice and defended the instances when he overruled some of their decisions. Yeah, okay. He's the Attorney General. That's his job. Barr slammed hundreds of DOJ prosecutors working beneath him, equating them with preschool. Well, I'm guessing that he. Of course, this is a CNN thing.
General Bill Barr with a blunt assessment of the hundreds of prosecutors who work under him, equating them to, quote, preschoolers. Barr has faced backlash from the rank-and-file attorneys in the department over a series of decisions that seem to line up with the political goals of the president, like overruling prosecutors to advocate for a lighter prison sentence in the case of President Trump's longtime friend, Roger Stone.
Where they wanted to throw him under the jail, Roger Stone, for something that normally would get maybe 6 months in jail, huh? Come on.
Clearly annoyed by any criticism that political officials interfere in criminal cases, Barr was having none of it on Wednesday.
I have mob violence. Name one successful organization or institution where the lowest level employees' decisions are deemed sacrosanct. They aren't. There aren't any. Letting the most junior members set the agenda might be a good philosophy for a Montessori preschool, but it is no way to run a federal agency.
Barr.
Gee, is that what? That's okay. That was interesting. That was interesting. So, in many cases, in the Department of Justice, there are all these career people that are there all the time. And then the leadership usually is politically appointed. But who is the one who sets the agenda for any department in the United States government? Is it the rank and file career people in the departments, or is it the leadership of the department? I'm trying to figure. They really kind of twisted that, didn't they?
Barr's comments at a conservative college in Michigan likely to inflame the already strained relationship between political appointees running the Justice Department in Washington and the career attorneys across the country.
Yeah, because
Attorney General Bill Barr with
a lot of the career attorneys are have their own political persuasions, and so they don't like it when the new administration that may not be of the same political persuasion decides to take maybe a little bit different tact on how the law shall be applied. And we know that government employees are generally of a political persuasion that does not match up with the current administration's political persuasion, as we saw during the Mueller probe and the FBI Crossfire Hurricane investigations. Holy shit. But hey, it's a good headline because it's just, again, right now, everything you see, and this is Twitter, remember, which has its slant, and it's full court press against the president right now. So you just got to get used to this. Whistleblower says federal officials ask about availability of heat ray before clearing DC protesters. This is another one we saw this morning. Oh, they were looking for a heat weapon against protesters. Well, according to documents obtained by NPR, and this is CNN, Major Adam DeMarco said that at around noon on June 1st, federal forces sent an email asking whether the D.C. National Guard had a long-range acoustic device, or a device called the Active Denial System, the ADS. The ADS, which is a non-lethal device developed by the military in the early 2000s, is also referred to as heat ray. I was thinking of a song. What's the song from, is it Frost? What's the one, is it Frosty the Snowman? Where the heat miser comes out singing? Anyway, is that the right, the old Christmas thing? Anyway, the ADS, which is a non-lethal device, also referred to as heat ray, and makes the skin feel like it's burning. The email was allegedly sent hours before law enforcement officials were ordered to clear protesters gathered at Lafayette Square in Washington, D.C. The Washington Post, very friendly to the president, reports the Defense Department official downplayed the allegation, saying emails asking about specific weaponry were routine in determining available equipment. So there you go. Thank you, NPR, for putting that out. Okay. That's it's just everything they can do. My NBA star Maya Moore. What did it say? I just saw it. Marries Jonathan the wrongly convicted man she helped free from prison. Okay, that's from yesterday. Anything else new? Voter registration. Snowflake goes public in the largest ever software IPO. That's from yesterday. Trump says CDC director made a mistake on the vaccine timeline. That was from yesterday. Oh, and then a White House staff member reported for COVID-19. When asked if members of the White House staff recently tested positive for COVID-19, during a press briefing, White House Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany said that she doesn't share people's personal medical information. The reports come a day after President Trump met with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and representatives of Bahrain and the United Arab Emirates. This is someone named Travis Akers said multiple White House staff tested positive for COVID-19 today. The White House press pool was just informed, but Chief of Staff Mark Meadows is not releasing any further information. This comes less than 24 hours after international leaders met with the president. Okay, so whatever. And I think that's going to be it today, guys. Hey! Before you even think of doing anything else right now, I would ask you to click the like button if you like what we do here, because I want to make sure you don't, because every time I start doing my exit speech, some of you just bolt before you hit the like button. So do that. But that's got to be it for today, people. Tomorrow, remember, it's the 420th episode, so we're going to do another 420 show, whatever that means, other than I ask people to do all their super chats in $4.20 increments so we can get a lot of Snoop Dogg on the screen. And before you go, hit the like button. Also, if you like what we do, share right down there. The share arrow is somewhere over there. And if you click that share arrow, or if you're on a mobile, it's up here. If you hit the share arrow and share this out on social media, just because that helps, everything helps. And make sure that you, share. If you're watching on a replay, put a comment in the comment section so that I know that you were here. Finally, if you want to support the show in a more substantial way, all that information is right down there in the comment section, where we do donations via Streamlabs, Venmo, and Cashapp. So that's some opportunities there. And in Streamlabs, you can use PayPal or credit cards if you'd like to do that. That's up to you. I appreciate the people who have the means to do it. If you can't, that doesn't mean I still don't love you, because I do. If everyone who participates in this show, whether you're in the chat, whether you're lurking, whether you're listening at work, driving, or whatever or on the replay, I appreciate every single one of you, and thank you for being here. We're here Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, 1500 GMT, for my friends in other parts of the world that don't use American time zones. And that's it for today, people. I do have to leave, though. I'm so glad we had this time together, but I gotta go. My name is PDawgKnight, and I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Hey, this is PDawgKnight, and thank you for watching today on the PDawgKnight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterward so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through the Streamlabs link, which is also in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm PDawgKnight, and I'm out of here.